The best fighter pound for pound of the century.
Well, strong words from Iron Mike. What about James Buddy McGirt? He's moved up the ranks, finally getting his chance at a title once again. What are his chances?
Good puncher, slick boxer. This is going to be an interesting fight.
Well, right now, Simon Brown is certainly on top of the world. Buddy McGirt knew that feeling at one time, and he definitely wants to taste it again. In 1988, Simon Brown served notice that he was a force to be reckoned with in the welterweight division. After being knocked to the canvas in the second round, he came storming back to deck Tyrone Trice 3 times in the 12th. Miraculously, Trice was able to survive the 12th round onslaught. Brown continued to win the war of attrition and captured the vacant IBF title. The Jamaican native had made the passage from contender to champion.
When I first met Tyler, I figured he was just like winning another, fight. He didn't sink in as yet until when I, on the bus going to the airport, and I look at my title and look at my wife, and I said to her, "I am the champion. I do got a belt." She said, "Yes, you do. You have been working for it a long time," and that's when we started sinking in.
Like Simon Brown, 1988 was a breakthrough year for James Buddy McGirt. He met his nemesis, Frankie Warren, for the vacant IBF junior welterweight title. At the time, Warren was the only blemish on McGirt's record. Buddy avenged his earlier defeat and realized his dream of a championship.
When it all sinks in, then it hits you. It's like a dream comes true. Sometimes you can't really believe it.
But he was rudely awakened from his dream in his second title defense. A poorly prepared McGirt was no match for Meldrick Taylor. After only 7 months, McGirt passed from contender to champion back to contender.
I knew I made a mistake. So why should I sit around and be like, Bud, man, you shouldn't have. It's over with.
Life as a world champion has been good for Simon Brown and his family. Brown is 9-0 in world title fights. His only loss was a split decision to Marlon Sterling. All of his other opponents have fallen victim to his ring skill. This gentle family man is a sharp contrast to the cold-blooded assassin that Simon Brown has become in the ring. The only thing Brown holds more dear than his title is his family. Longtime friend Maurice Blocker found out how possessive Brown can be when the two clashed last March. Not even friendship would slow the murderous attack of Brown. Now residing in Maryland, Brown is both the king of his castle and the palace guard. He knows he must maintain a constant vigil to protect what he has built.
This is my job, This is how I feed my wife and kids. As you see, this is why I bought my car. This is why I bought my house. This if I want $1 in my pocket, I could get it. Because I could remember when my daughter India was born, I didn't have this. I didn't have $1, to buy milk or Pampers. So, I was worried back in them days. And, when I have the chance to do this now, and I see that it's paying off for me, I work hard. I work extra hard.
McGirt, too, has had to work hard, supporting 6 children while trying to remain in the title picture. He knows the past 3 years could have been more bountiful if he were still champion instead of a contender. But he remains undaunted.
I lost the title, but I'm going to get it back. It might be a year, it might be 2, but unfortunately it took 3 years. But I don't care. I know what I've done wrong, so why should I sit around and pout about it?
Unable to make the 140-pound limit, McGirt began campaigning at 147 pounds as a full-fledged welterweight. He continued his winning ways at the new weight division. His only setback was an arm injury that kept him out of action for 5 months. Even though title opportunities eluded him, McGirt continued to stay active, fighting any willing opponent. His motivation for fighting was more practical than just winning a second world title.
Pay my damn bills, Jack. Got a lot of them. So the only way I was going to do that was fight. You know, not sit down and worry about which champ I was going to fight or which non-champ I was going to fight. You know, I say, look, I got bills I got to pay. I can't sit and wait for you guys. I got to make a living. I got to go out here and do what I do best.
If he can beat Simon Brown, that would mark Buddy McGirt's passage back to the big time. If he loses to Brown, he might not get another chance at a world title. Simon Brown is on the verge of passing from star to superstar. Brown's professionalism, however, will not allow him to concentrate on anything other than his next opponent.
I'm still hungry to beat a fighter like Buddy, you know. So the hungriness is still there for me, and I think the hungriness will never leave there until I leave boxing, because when I feel like the hungriness is leaving there for me, it's time to get off boxing.
I think about the fight now when I'm running in the mornings, and I think about getting off the plane, coming home not champion, you know, coming home a loser. Not saying not champion, coming home a loser. You know, sometimes you think, you be like, damn, you know, you don't want to do that right now. You want to come home on top of the world. You know what I mean? You want to come out when the smoke clears. I want to be standing with my hands raised in victory.
Well, if Simon Brown should win tonight, does he make the jump from star to superstar?
Yes, he's bordering on it right now. He either waits for Julio Cesar Chavez to go up, that's big-time potatoes, Meldrick Taylor, a big money fight, or goes up in weight to Terry Norris, another big fight. Any victory there makes him a superstar.
Well, Brown recently beat up his best friend, Maurice Blocker. I don't know if I want to be Buddy McGirt right now, but could this mean a return to the big time for McGirt?
Oh, definitely, McGirt. And I think it would be an upset Simon Brown here. He is really in big potatoes, and he's in line for all those fights.
Well, there's certainly no quit in either one of these fighters, Brown or McGirt. What about strategy?
Well, I think Simon Brown never changes. He comes in relentlessly, very slowly, builds up a head of steam, and then finishes you off. I think we're going to look for more of a motion fight from McGirt, and trying to get tired while inflicting pain. Whoever inflicts their game plan on the other usually wins a fight.
All right, we are set for the facts and figures, the tail of the tape for tonight's championship fight. Our main event, both are 27 at 5'9", Brown with the 2.5-inch height advantage. The weight, Brown 147, McGirt 145, and the reach almost even. The rules, according to the WBC, a 10-point must system in effect, 3 scoring judges, no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule, only the referee can stop the fight. Fighter cannot be saved by the bell except in the last round. Coming up from the Grand Ballroom of the Mirage Hotel, Simon Brown, James Buddy McGirt. It's for the WBC Welterweight Championship.
I gotta continue to win. I'm not looking back. There's no looking back for me. You know, I gotta continue to move on.
I see this fight as a life and death fight, because neither one of us is going to give up. We're both going to fight until the last breath. It's going to be a great fight.
The only way to beat Buddy is to knock them out. I mean, you don't have no other. I mean, you could beat him a decision, but I can't depend on the judge or the referee.
I know Simon Brown is a warrior, and he's going to be fighting to keep his championship. You know, something he worked hard for. But I'm a warrior also.
I got to depend on these 2 hands, and depend on my Lord to just give me the strength and health, and I'll go out there and do the rest.
I lost the title, then I worked my way back up. So now they're like, okay, let's see what Buddy McGirt's made of now. So now this is going to show them what I'm made of.
And ready to make his way into the ring, the challenger, #1 rated James Buddy McGirt out of Brentwood, New York, the former IBF junior welterweight champ, one of the most active world-class fighters in the game today, trying to make his way back to the top.
Sister. Here we go, champ. Here we go, champ. Sister. Get up! We've gone through so much pain and struggle. I'll let you know that I'm thinking about you. From the bottom of my heart, I love you. Sister, my Nubian princess, this one's for you, cause I'm tired of the nonsense. not speaking of a sister from a medium family, but so long sisters with a black mentality. I've grown up watching you struggle, while others work singles, you work doubles. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be born, and we would sew our clothes when they were torn. I remember trips you couldn't take, so you could buy clothes when your kids would go straight. A few words to make your day-to-day right. Before I rush for your way through right. Never met a person with pride so true. We're like a strong sister, what can a black man do? Many you call both the chosen are few. Sister, I feel good.
Yo, this is a good fight. This is going to be a good fight.
And the champion, a 3-1 favorite coming in, Simon Brown, a native of Jamaica, is James Buddy McGirt, doing some praying, some last-minute praying, getting ready for Simon Brown. Buddy McGirt, the underdog coming in, but a lot of people are saying that he could come through big here tonight.
You know, the betting went from 3.5 to 2.5 to 1, and money keeps coming in on McGirt. The problem with the whole thing is, you know, McGirt has fought lesser opposition, so, you know, here comes his problem.
Here he is, Simon Brown, looking to make it 10 for 10 in championship fights tonight, his first defense of the WBC welterweight title. And keep in mind, this is for the WBC title only, as Simon Brown, who unified the WBC and IBF crowns, gave up the IBF version because, as his advisor told us, the IBF used unethical ways to handle the contract for the Maurice Blocker fight, plus the IBF sanctioned fights in apartheid South Africa. And Brown told me sometimes he wishes he didn't vacate the title because he's sick and tired of being asked about it. In any event, the crowd here at the Mirage Grand Ballroom eagerly anticipating the main event. Simon Brown against James Buddy McGirt. We are set for ring announcer Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time I'd like to ask you to rise for the singing of our national anthem. My pleasure to present to you at this time the outstanding recording artist and popular entertainer currently appearing at the Golden Nugget. Welcome, the one and only Lou Rawls.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and those bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting up in the air, they gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave over the land of the free and the home of the, talking about the brave.
Ladies and gentlemen in attendance and sports fans joining us around the world, welcome as Don King Productions and the Mirage, in association with Budweiser, the undisputed king of beers, present the Feast of Champions, the main event of the evening, the WBC Welterweight Championship bout. This event is sanctioned by the World Boxing Council President Jose Sulaiman, the Supervisor Dean Lohais, along with the Nevada State Athletic Commission, the Chairman Luther Mack, Commissioners Dr. James Nave, Dr. Elias Gannum, Bruce Lane, and Nat Carasali, and the Executive Director is Chuck Minker, presenting the officials as appointed. Ringside physicians, Dr. Flip Pomansky, Dr. James Game, Dr. Al Capana. Timekeepers at the bell, also keeping count of the knockdowns, Al Bisick and Mike Lasella. Introducing to you the judges at ringside. Presenting Jerry Roth, Dalby Shirley, and Ray Solis. And introducing the referee in charge of this bout, he will be giving instructions after the introductions, Mills Lane. All right, fans, here we go. Brought to you by Don King, the Mirage, and Budweiser. It's showtime. The main event of the evening, 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Welterweight Championship of the World. Introducing to you first the challenger on my right. He's fighting out of the blue corner, and he enters the ring wearing blue trunks with white trim. He hails from Brentwood, Long Island, New York, and he weighed in at a trim and ready 145 pounds. His fine record includes 54 wins, only 2 defeats, 1 draw, with 43 wins by way of knockout. He's ranked the #1 contender by the WBC and the IBF. Welcome, the former IBF Junior Welterweight Champion of the World, James Buddy McGirt. And his opponent across the ring. On my left, fighting out of the red corner, is the defending champion. He is wearing black trunks with white lettering and fighting out of Mount Airy, Maryland, by way of Clarendon, Jamaica. His weight is at 147 pounds, and his impressive record includes 34 wins, only 1 defeat, 26 big wins by way of knockout. Welcome, the defending WBC Welterweight Champion of the World, Simon Brown. Once again, your referee Mills Lane now to give instruction.
All right, now this is for the championship of the world. Pick a tough, clean fight. We've gone through all the instructions one time. Protect yourself at all times. Any questions from the challenger? Any questions from the champion? Let's get it on.
The always authoritative Mills Lane with the final words. And if that won't rev you up, nothing will, as James Buddy McGirt, rated #1 by the WBC, WBA, and IBF, gets set to tangle with the WBC welterweight champ, Simon Brown, involved in his 10th World Championship fight. He's 9-0 coming in championship fights, and we're underway.
And if there's one thing you can look for Simon, it's patience. He doesn't care what happens in the first 2 or 3. He gets his work in, he measures, he's not in a hurry, and then after that, all hell breaks loose.
I believe this is somewhat of a dream match. The ever-punching welterweight champion of the world against the master slick boxing former junior welterweight champion, and put up 4 pounds, and now he's a welterweight, and this is an interesting fight. Simon Brown, from my opinion, should go right on him and take it to him.
Well, Brown told us he hopes to start earlier against McGirt than he did against Maurice Blocker. Very respectful of Buddy McGirt in the blue. He says he's got his hands full, called McGirt a great boxer and fighter.
Well, if there's any jitteriness, it should be on the part of McGirt. He should be giving him a lot of motion. He's a fine, fine boxer. Almost an even match. You got to give a championship edge to the champion. But Blocker, remember, he is patient, and he feels like when the time comes, he will step on the gas.
Simon Brown has to come in behind that jab and cut the ring off as he do it. Because as you know, Buddy McGirt is very sleep-footed. And he's moving, and he's going to start punching and going out.
Get that shoulder down, Simon, come on.
But I'll tell you one thing, Mike, he's not going to win the title backing up the whole night. He's going to have to come in to fight from time to time, and that's when it's dangerous with Simon.
Of course, but as you know, he's a slick boxer and sharp puncher, so he tried to let Simon make mistakes where he could counter with a hard punch and throw him off guard. But Simon, a hard puncher and aggressive fighter that he is, he should take it right to him and punch to the body.
Both have paid their dues. McGirt, a tireless worker who wins many rounds on sheer volume of punches. There were a few right there.
Oh, he'll do that all night long.
Meanwhile, Brown has that potent left hook. McGirt has to be leery of that. A minute to go in the opening round, scheduled for 12. Brown's biggest flaw, perhaps, is defense. Sometimes he can open himself up. And
Brown must take
is a great
advantage.
defender.
Brown must take advantage of the end punch in fighting. He mustn't let McGirt semi-tie him up and then get off with the combination. Because Brown has speed in his hand as well.
Yes, opponents are often reluctant to open up the attack on Brown for fear of being countered with a power punch by Simon Brown in the black trunks.
Right now, neither man establishing anything in particular. Both a lot of give and take in this round. The aggressor is Simon Brown. McGirt has gotten in some very good combinations and shots, but not anything to put any hurt on Simon Brown. See, it's a good job.
Heading for the bell.
That's it. Good boy. Deep breath. Don't throw punches and look. You understand? Get out of there, or either that, get off with your jab. All right, take a deep breath. Very good. There's one in the bank. Don't be afraid to use that jab. You hear? Deep breath, baby. Take your time. It's all yours. You understand? There's one in the bank.
All the applause if they don't mean nothing. You just work. That's what I'm talking about.
Emil Griffith, the great trainer, he's not saying anything. He's just taking care of Simon Brown. No talking going on in the corner.
Here we go, second serve.
They must be very confident, Mike. Nobody said anything to Simon Brown.
And Simon must pick up the momentum, believe me.
Here we go into round two. The former four-time world champion, Emil Griffith, in the corner of Simon Brown.
Let's rephrase that, 5-time world champion, 2-time welterweight champion.
One of the all-time greats.
I tell you, every time we fought him, one of the fighters we had, we lost. I mean, he kept beating everything we had. Angelo's fighters.
Buddy McGirt won 16 straight fights since losing the IBF junior welterweight crown to Meldrick Taylor, and he's 4-0 since an arm injury, suffered a torn bicep tendon in his left arm against Jose Bermudez in July of '90. Will Brown aim for the arm? He said only if things get nasty. There's a wild miss by Brown. Otherwise, Brown said, I'm going to aim for Buddy's chin.
And as you notice, he's taking Simon Brown off the game plan. Buddy McGirt wants this welterweight championship, a championship that's been established in 1878 by Pat McDuffie. And as you know, great fighters like Sugar Ray Robinson, Ray Leonard, they became great faces in here. And Simon Brown's trying to, fill in the gap between those great fighters.
And there's no truth to the rumor. Ferdy was there to call that fight in 1878.
He's looking pretty good since 1878, isn't he? And Simon Brown, as I say, have to take the aggressive and not throw one punch at a time. Have to work off the jab and come in forward, because Buddy McGirt is trying to catch him coming in, trying to catch him lunging, and he's too experienced a fighter to be caught that way, I believe. And I believe, fellas, that we're in for a heck of a fight tonight.
Well, so far, so good.
Buddy's fighting on nervous energy, no doubt about that. He's fighting kind of jittery, but you can see exactly what I'm telling you with Simon. He just takes his time. When he gets there, he hits hard. He's not really worried till after the third or fourth. Then's when everything starts to happen with him.
And Buddy McGirt likes to rely on speed and head movement, a lot of side to side.
Well, McGirt can build up a nice lead if he takes advantage of Simon's lackadaisical pace.
Simon must punch to the body and slow McGirt down, because McGirt is a mover, and as you said before, he's moving on a lot of nervous energy. Knowing he's in there with one of the most fierce welterweight punches in the whole division's history. And he's going to start putting those punches together now if he can slow Buddy McGirt down.
Simon Brown, who has one of the most potent left hooks in the game.
And great chins, let us not hasten to add. Great chin, great punching power, and patience adds up to a good champion. McGirt outspeeding him.
And Simon Brown has to put combinations together. He mustn't let Buddy McGirt take the play away. Buddy McGirt, a smooth, slick boxer, fast hand. The only way to slow him down is to keep that jab in his face and cut the ring off. Simon Brown's not cutting the ring off. As an experienced fighter he is, he should cut the ring off.
Watch what happens after the third or fourth round. That's when this guy kicks in. He's letting him go, and he's letting him build a lead because he's winning these rounds.
Buddy McGirt giving a good account of himself here in these first 3 rounds.
But the only thing I want you to do, I want you to move behind a little bit more inside. Every time you get close to you, don't look to hit him. I mean to hold him. Punch inside. Punch inside, Simon. Don't give him the fight, okay?
These are the flurries that are winning the rounds, these first 2 rounds for McGirt. Right on the button, sharp. It doesn't quite hurt Simon Brown, but sure takes him out of his rhythm and loses around. Let's take another look at that. Uppercut coming, a wide looping hook. They're not doing damage, but they sure do build up the points.
And they're certainly talking in the corner of Simon Brown right now.
Finally, they said, hey, you better start fighting on the inside and land some body shots. And that's exactly what he's got to do this round.
Buddy McGirt's corner extremely confident that they're going to walk away with the welterweight championship of the world. But I'm sure Simon Brown has different thoughts in mind. But he must fight differently. He must put punches together. He must hit the bodies and slow Buddy McGirt down, which I know he's capable of doing here. And as you see now, he's punching to the body to get some perception from Buddy McGirt.
McGirt told us Brown wins all of his fights one way, by applying pressure. Then the opponent tries to outbox him and eventually runs out of gas. But McGirt said he is ready to go a full 12 here and seems to be in great condition.
McGirt is a finely conditioned athlete, and he is used to going the distance. I saw him go with Frankie Warren twice, and there was no slowing up at all in Buddy McGirt. He just goes full speed ahead. Good hammering shot by Simon just then.
One of McGirt's 2 losses to Frankie Warren, the other to Meldrick Taylor. Simon Brown 34-1, his lone defeat to Marlon Starling in '85.
Here we go, here we go.
Mills Lane, the 3rd man of the ring, also a district judge out of Reno, former district attorney. He repped the recent Holyfield Cooper fight in Atlanta. Tonight his 58th championship fight. Good combination.
Simon Brown must not let Buddy McGirt do that, because every time he do that, it takes the momentum away. It takes his perception off of his punches, and he's out of range to punch because he's so preoccupied with the combinations that Buddy McGirt is just throwing.
A lot of good infighting just then by Simon. Simon can really fight hard inside. You can't let him loose. You can't let his arm go there.
Simon Brown, as Ferdy pointed out, with a strong chin. He was dropped just once in the first bout with Tyrone Trice.
This is a big fight for Simon Brown, and for both men for that matter. And you know, as you see right now, Buddy McGirt, he's trying to make a fool out of him, flipping him, spinning him around, frustrate him. But he has to stay at the hard, concrete, concentrate champion that he is, and just concentrate on the body and slowing Buddy McGirt down.
Buddy McGirt stopped only once by Meldrick Taylor and dropped only once by Tony Bolton.
Oh, nice right hand by McGirt that seemed to stun Simon for a moment.
A left by McGirt.
Simon Brown must add pressure and punch to the body. He must throw punches. Something has to be done here.
Well, that will certainly wake up Simon Brown. He's going to hear it in the corner because he's gotten 2 hammering shots. One of them wobbled him.
And the chants of Buddy from the New Yorkers in the crowd here in support of McGirt.
Buddy McGirt fighting a beautiful fight. He's moving, he's punching, and every once in a while he slams home a winning shot.
Simon Brown must stay cool, champion, and just work concentrating on the body.
Simon, relax yourself. Relax yourself.
Put it down.
Okay, now listen to me. Relax yourself. You get close to him and punch. Don't walk in without punching. Get close to my punch. Deep breath. Deep breath. One more. know, you get close to him, you punch. Don't just walk in without punching. Don't, okay, man, you're not doing it. Don't, okay, man, don't do it. Do it.
And see what McGirt has found, a little combination right inside to Simon Brown. He's been landing that. The points are flowing. Now let's take a look at that big right hand that seemed to wobble for a second. Simon Brown. Look at that shot. You see the wobble right there? That if he could have just stayed close to him and landed an attack, it might have been big trouble for Simon Brown.
And round 4, what a solid right by McGirt. Scheduled for 12. McGirt gaining confidence with each round.
And from here on out is where we see what the champion is made of, because this is when he likes to fight now. So let's see what happens. He's lost the first 3 quite unofficially on my card.
He was down to Maurice Blocker too, but as we saw, he is a superb finisher and came back to stop his best friend, Maurice. Let's see what happens here against Buddy McGirt.
For openers, he's starting to jab a lot stronger and a lot harder, trying to control the motion of McGirt. Trying to get him on the end of that jab.
He must contain the intensity of that jab coming and bringing up an uppercut and then bring a left hook. Because as long as he let Buddy McGirt concentrate and dictate that jab, he's going to throw his perception off, as you see, as he did right there.
Good quick right hand by McGirt.
Right over the jab. McGirt,
another shot by McGirt, this time with the left.
McGirt outspeeding, outthinking the champion.
I don't know how hard those punches are, but they do look bad to the judges, I'm sure. Because they look like, you see the sweat coming off his head, they look like they're damaging punches.
Good combination by McGirt, followed by a left to the face. McGirt scoring well here.
And he must punch once he's inside. He mustn't walk in time. There's a cut over the right eye of the champion.
Little trickle of blood over the right eye of Simon Brown.
He's been getting hammered. There's another shot.
Midway through the 4th.
I do not understand why Simon Brown is fighting like that. He's lunging with the left jab. He must throw the combination once he's inside. He must not allow Buddy McGirt to come off like that. He must throw combination punches as soon as he gets inside.
Oh, what a flurry by McGirt.
McGirt just looking great.
Tremendous.
Buddy McGirt is fighting a Meldrick Taylor type of fight. As you know, he's throwing the combinations in and out. And Buddy McGirt, this is his game. He's running around the ring, but he throws the combination. He always scores. It's not like he's running around and he's just not scoring. He scores and he gets out.
And not getting hit in return.
Exactly.
He's gone, but he's punching and gone.
And he's making the great champion miss and look bad. I can't believe what's happening here.
McGirt showing tremendous hand speed, landing with a left there.
Well, you're beginning to wonder how many of these shots can Simon Brown take. He's getting clean shots to the head, hooks, and all kind of straight right hands are landed. McGirt looking wonderful.
Hey, why is Simon Brown walking straight in? Why is he being elusive coming in? Simon Brown, this is not the Simon Brown that I'm used to seeing fight.
Solid right by McGirt.
It looked like it rocked Simon.
It did wobble him coming in. He took a misstep. I'm telling you, he can't
Simon
take this
punch. He must throw 3 punches together, not 1 or 2, but 3 punches together.
And now,
yes, continue, throw back with a punch with him. Simon Brown must punch with him.
what an exchange to end the 4th.
For the body, forget the goddamn head. Don't hit his head. Shots and belly, forget the head. Come on, baby, you can do it. When you get close, when you get close, use your jab and drop the right hand on him. Don't be scared to use your body punches, Simon. You get close, Simon. You hit him in the body, and you hit him in the goddamn chest. All right?
Let's take a look at that big right hand. McGirt is hitting right on the button. You can see the way that the head moves off to the side. It's having a big effect. Let's take another look from another angle. You see it's right on the button, and his legs are wobbling as the champion, Simon Brown. And he doesn't look like he has an answer, Mike, for this. He doesn't look like he knows what to do.
Buddy McGirt is an extremely smart fighter, and he's fighting a smart fight, counter-punching, in and out, like the old-time fighters do. You throw a punch, you throw the punch with you, but he's on the outside while his punch is connecting. He's on the outside where he's not getting hit. And how long can he keep it up, we don't know. Simon Brown's not fighting with the intensity that we're used to seeing him fight. And if he wants to keep this championship, he has to go for blood. He has to rough him up in there. He has to fight like a champ. He has to make him if you want this title, you have to beat me with everything I know, and I'm going to fight hard and dirty.
Brown getting cautioned for hitting behind the head.
You got to count. You got to count. Buddy McGirt's getting ready to throw a right hand, so you got to count. As I'm seeing on time, he's getting ready to throw the right hand. And Simon Brown, being the experienced fighter he is, and champion of the world and confident, why isn't he able to see that? I don't know.
I think he's gotten a little mentally lazy at the beginning, and now he's way behind, at least unofficially, 4 rounds to nothing. And so he's got to start throwing hard punches and hope that one of them lands and stops Buddy McGirt, because Buddy seems to have found the answer.
Well, Buddy's fighting very well, but let's see how long it lasts.
McGirt to this point in total command. The much busier of the two, the challenger, Buddy McGirt, for the WBC welterweight crown. He can taste it.
I didn't go, buddy. You're grabbing too much.
It's too early for that. Simon's starting to get that look. He's starting to get that hunter look that he gets when he wants to punch hard and put somebody out. Look at that. Oh, low blow. Very low blow.
Mills Lane steps in, but says nothing to Simon Brown. Didn't have the angle as we did.
He must bring the right uppercut and the left hook in order to connect. He has to throw more than one punch to hit a guy as quick as Buddy McGirt. You have to put the punches together, Simon Brown.
Brown, an easy target, just standing right in front of McGirt.
But he is on the attack. But the pressure is different this round. This round, it's Simon Brown with the pressure that he hadn't had yet.
Ooh, good thumping right by Simon Brown. McGirt slipping punches afterwards.
Simon must continue to bring the attack with a ferocious attack. Continue to punch while he's inside, and if he wants to be successful in defending his title. He has to punch while he's inside because Buddy McGirt will kill him with the speed.
As he did late against Maurice Blocker. There's a good left by McGirt that penetrated. Less than 20 seconds in the 5th round. McGirt going to the head again.
And for some strange reason, Brown's not throwing punches with the extreme snap on it. He needs bad intention in order to defend his title successfully. You know what I mean?
Good boy. There's 5 in the bank, buddy. Relax. The savings alone will be looking for you. Wait a minute. How you feel, champ? Keep that mouth closed. Keep your hands up. Buddy, you go back to the boom, boom, boom jab, all right? Double jab. Take a deep breath. Come on, you're all right. You didn't even get your second one. Don't give him nothing free. That'd be one thing different. Move the head on punch. All right, have it. Deep breaths. Come on, you do good. Come on.
Well, coming up in January, another one. Donovan Razor Ruddock, one of the most feared punchers in the heavyweight division, returns to the ring to face former WBA heavyweight champion Greg Page. It'll be Ruddock's first fight since his decision loss to a fellow named Mike Tyson last June. Mike's sitting to our left as we head into round 6.
All right, now Buddy McGirt must punch. Once he's inside, must do everything. Must push him off, punch. Continue to punch with snap. He must bend his legs more to get the power from this. Now Buddy McGirt looks like he may have slowed down a little because he allowed him to get off those punches in the clinches.
Did you notice that last round, the distance shortened between them? Exactly. Simon pressed. Simon fought inside. Simon hit to the body. And all of a sudden, it was a different fight going there. It started to change. See him? He's not floating around like a butterfly anymore.
Brown looking to stalk Buddy McGirt.
Why did he hesitate right now when he punched? He must continue. He must punch in combination, Simon. And if he would have threw a 3-punch combination, he would have took Buddy McGirt out of there.
Brown landed with a left, though.
Here comes smoking. Here comes smoking Simon.
McGirt comes back. But here comes Brown again.
Now this is Brown on the attack. This is the hunter and the prey. This is the guy that wakes up at round 4 or 5.
And keep an eye out on that right eye of Simon Brown. Looks like it may be closing a bit.
Simon Brown seemed to pick up the momentum at this particular point, and we're in the 6th round. 6 more rounds to go, and this fight has been fast-paced. And it looked like he hurt Buddy a little with a left hook to the body.
He's punching hard to the body now, Mike. And that's taking the legs out from McGirt.
Exactly. As you can see, Ferdy, he's slowing down.
He isn't dancing anymore. The guy is on him. Simon is on him, and he's on him with hard punches to the body. There's
my God. Simon Brown is punching extremely hard to the body, and he should stay there.
Simon is hunting with a shotgun in his hand. There's another one. That was low. That was low.
Oh.
No warning. Combination to the head by McGirt.
But McGirt is shooting with a BB gun, and Simon Brown is shooting with a shotgun.
Less than a minute remaining. 6th round.
Toe-to-toe action, and this is what we need to bring boxing back alive. 2 great fighters like this.
Frantic exchanges. A lunging left by Brown. Brown in close. But McGirt standing toe-to-toe with Brown.
Oh, Brown is punching with bad intentions.
And now, the evil intentions are coming out.
The strong finisher.
What's going on with Buddy McGirt's mind? This guy's taking my best shot.
McGirt looking winded.
What's the hand? Punch on you. You got 2 hands, friend.
Final seconds of round 6. Big round for Brown.
Brown has turned the tide of this fight. He's taking a fight out of McGirt.
Hey, flip. Get a look at that eye, will you?
Man, you're doing good again, son, but you gotta throw more hooks, baby. You gotta throw more hooks. You got him all worried there.
Almansky, the doctor, has been called in to take a look at the cut, which does not appear bad enough. Let's listen.
Please, son. Deep breath, someone, deep breath.
I don't believe the cut is bad enough where the doctor should be in the ring.
Exactly.
You being a doctor, Ferdy, should.
Move your hands here. Move your hands here. Move your hands.
Let's take a look at that hard body work that's turning this fight around.
Oh,
those punches right under the heart and to the liver and to the side are taking the legs out of Buddy McGirt. Let's take another good look. These punches, look at that. That's a solid, hard punch.
We have 2 courageous fighters, and Simon Brown coming on in the 6th round. And now here we go to 7th round, and Simon Brown still stalking.
And he might have a little bit more fuel in his tank because he's got a cut and he's afraid they may stop it, although it doesn't look like anything. I'm amazed that they brought the doctor in.
Buddy McGirt has his mouth open.
Right by Brown.
Buddy McGirt, he was slowing down in the end of the 6th round, and as you know right now, he's been hit with a good punch, and now he has his mouth open. He's breathing through his mouth, so ironically, it seems as if he's sucking for air.
And blood flying from above the right eye of Simon Brown. Lunging left there by Brown. Not much impact, though.
Brown coming on like a runaway freight train. And McGirt looking like a guy that's standing in the tracks waiting to get a run over.
A very intense battle, this WBC welterweight title, right from the opening bell. McGirt in command at the outset, but Brown coming strong.
Hard punch.
A good example of what Tyson said a moment ago, body shots inside. And that's what you just saw Simon Brown do, 3 or 4 inside digging body shots.
Ferdy, it's unbelievable how quick the body punches take effect. 1 minute the guy's moving fast, and then the next second he dies instantaneously.
McGirt looking a little worried. It's not had the confidence that he had in those first 4 rounds.
Simon Brown must continue to punch to the body in order to slow this slew-footed fighter down.
I think he senses that he's getting this guy right where he wants him, in his sights.
Now McGirt aiming for the damaged eye, but not having any impact. There's a right hand by Brown, and Brown able to eat some punches too.
Brown is just... Here comes McGirt a little bit.
Yeah, combination by McGirt.
Oh,
wild action.
First defensive action by McGirt in a long time.
Buddy McGirt got a fresher breath air from somewhere, and he's punching back with the sharp combination he was doing earlier in the fight.
The problem is it has no effect on Simon Brown. He keeps coming.
But it looks good to the judges.
But he's gotten hammered all during this round. It wasn't enough to take this round.
Again, McGirt opening up. Right uppercut by McGirt.
Simon Brown must put the combinations together. With less than 30 seconds left.
Come on.
Oh, hard body punches. And you can see they take effect, buddy, because you see.
One good shot, but he moved away to admire his work rather than stay there and follow it up. Simon doesn't make that mistake. He stays there.
The slugfest raging on. No knockdowns as of yet. In the second.
Great shot by Simon, but he took it, and a good shot by McGirt in return.
Great, baby.
Bring it on, man. I got it.
Relax. Give me those legs, baby.
Let's take a look at this sequence of fast action. There's a right hand, Simon. McGirt trying to sneak that little right hand back in. Look at that shot by Simon. Let's take a look at this kind of action. Let's repeat it. Let's look from a different angle. That gives you the perspective of the punch. Both men throwing right hands at the same time, and then he comes back for more.
But it should
Simon
come back
is on
with
the
a
hunt.
left hook. Simon should put those punches in 2 or 3 punches in sessions. I know it's tough when you're fighting the guy that's so fast.
Okay, you double your hook every time.
Here we go. Seconds out.
Hey, let's go. Round 8 scheduled for 12. Simon Brown showing he can take the punishment and then dish it out.
And this fight is getting very even. One more round, Simon Brown pulls out, and he's dead even.
Turning into a vicious affair.
But you can feel the momentum change. You can feel the ebb and flow is going toward the champion, who's more confident every round, stronger every round. McGirt looking more tentative, more fearful every round. Fearful is not the right word. Cautious should be the word.
As you said before, as you noticed, Simon Brown is getting more and more closer with that right hand.
A big-time brawl here in Las Vegas between Simon Brown and Buddy McGirt for the title. Combination to the head by McGirt, but Brown seemed to deflect it.
Not much on the punches of McGirt. He's landing, but
I look
without
at the face
crispness.
of Buddy McGirt. He looks a little bewildered. He's feeling the punches from Simon Brown.
I'll tell you one thing, Ferdy. Brown's not looking ahead to Norris or Chavez.
No, he takes it one fight at a time. I told you he's patient, and then when he gets his hunter's mode on, he's relentless. He's a good welterweight.
The New York fans in support of James Buddy McGirt. You can hear them. Over 100. Big right by McGirt, followed by a right by Brown. But McGirt's was more effective.
More impressive, too. It was long.
Combination by McGirt. Brown taking a lot of punishment, eating a lot of leather. Less than a minute to go in the 8th.
And we're watching a fight. Simon Brown's in the fight of his life, coming on and on. And he threw the mouthpiece out on purpose. Buddy McGirt threw the mouthpiece out on purpose.
He is tired. He's weary. He can't breathe right.
Look, he's spitting out.
Mills Lane just picked it up with his left hand and flipped it into the McGirt corner. McGirt fighting without the mouthpiece. Less than 30 seconds in the round.
And he was just hitting Buddy McGirt is slowing down.
Let's see if Brown
He's throwing the combination punches, but he's going through the motions. He's slowing down. Simon Brown is taking his toll. He must punch once he gets inside, though. If he doesn't punch, he's just wasting time. Hit the body. At this particular time, Simon Brown has to hit the body.
Come over here. Come over here. Time.
Now, with about 5 seconds, Lane calls time to get the mouthpiece in.
Come on, the mouthpiece. Come on.
He wanted to wait for the action to subside, and now they got it back in. But that's it.
Time.
You better walk this. What was that? Wipe his eye, wipe it out. Hey, how bad you want
Let this dry? Come on, give me an inflow on this. Where's your ice pack? Come here, come here. Put your head back. Which side is it on now? Right over here. That's the water. Relax, you get a whole can. Hold on, get it off.
Simon, good job, baby. Keep your hands up, Simon. Keep your hands up, Simon. Hey. Keep your hands up and drop the old hook and hand. When you get them on the rope.
Sometimes fighters spit out the mouthpiece. You see it was already half out. He just spit it out in order to take a good breath, get that bothersome mouthpiece out. But that's indicative of the fact that he's very tired.
But Ferdy, this tells me something. When he did something of that nature, it makes me feel that he's reluctant about his chances now.
It is round 9, scheduled for 12.
Round 8 was a fairly even round.
Simon Brown must stay to the body, and that mouthpiece will be spit out again. He mustn't allow him to take the momentum away.
Slapping left by McGirt. Brown likes to tempt fighters into toe-to-toe brawls, and we've got one here. These are the moments when Brown usually pours it on. But Brown has taken a lot of punishment in the earlier rounds here, and he's taking more now.
Simon Brown must continue to punch to the body.
Oh, nice uppercut.
He must continue to throw those combinations as he's throwing hard.
Good combination by McGirt to the head.
McGirt making a heck of a motion to take this round away from Simon, who has stopped fighting for some reason, and that reason is Buddy McGirt. He's right in his face and punching a lot. Tired as he is, weary as he is, he's in there.
Brown looking weary, and McGirt has a second win.
Yep, McGirt has a second win here, and he's...
But Simon Brown still has murder on his punches, as you noted.
Well, he can't gamble too much more because this is close now.
Buddy McGirt again looks like he's tired. Every minute and a half, Buddy McGirt seems to take in as if he's tired or so.
The crowd at a fever pitch throughout most of this fight. The many fans traveling from New York to raise heck for Buddy McGirt.
Buddy winning this round with an exceptional display of energy. Just when you thought he was through, he is coming back.
He spit out the mouthpiece at the end of the previous round, looking for more air. He's got it here, the ninth.
Two hammering shots. Those are the first ones that looked like they had something on them.
Combination to the head by McGirt. That snapped Brown's head back.
What an exhibition by McGirt. He's just from the edge of doom. He came back and he's been fighting his heart out this round.
And again, he's tired. His mouthpiece is getting ready to come out.
He's tired, Mike, but he's got a big heart.
Buddy McGirt's giving every round. Every round is giving everything he has. And Simon Brown has to come on if he wants to keep his welterweight championship of the world.
What a combination from McGirt.
Oh my, Simon Brown must have concrete in his jaw.
A right by Brown to end the round. Well, this is quite a close fight, and speaking of close fights, in February, Showtime Championship Boxing goes down under as we bring you live via satellite from Australia the Azuma Nelson-Jeff Fenech rematch for the WBC Super Featherweight title. This past June, Nelson and Fenech fought to a controversial draw, with the champion Nelson retaining the title. We hope you can join us in February from Australia.
Let's watch McGirt's valiant comeback. This was from the edge of doom. He came back and he's putting combinations in, hard combinations, and then moving away before the champion has the time to return the favor.
Yeah, take the other
that
side.
was a big round for
Buddy McGirt is giving everything he's got.
The rest of it.
Oh my.
He took the aggressiveness. He took everything out of Simon Brown. Now Simon's got to try to win back the lead.
Round 10, Brown very eager to get back into it. He's pressing the attack. Let's see how McGirt handles.
Oh, my.
Unofficially, my score is Buddy McGirt ahead, 87 to 85. But this is so close, it could be either
And me,
way.
myself, I got the bout even.
The judges, Jerry Roth, Dalby Shirley, and Ray Solis. In Las Vegas, anything can happen.
Buddy McGirt is fighting his little heart out. But then again, Simon Brown is at all times punching hard. Anything can happen here.
And he is hunting, he is chasing, he is the aggressor, and those are points in his favor. And he is a champion, and that has something to do with it.
He must throw more than one punch, though. He must throw more than one punch.
We saw what happened in the Nelson-Fennick fight. A lot of people thought Fennick won that fight. It was a draw. Nelson retained his title. Who knows?
That right uppercut to the body, I believe, shook Buddy McGirt a little.
It's right under the heart. And
Oh,
hurts.
my God.
Another one.
Those are the punches that make his mouthpiece come out of his mouth.
This is the first clinch we've seen in the whole fight. Unbelievable. It has been so action-packed. Midway through the 10th now. Oh, brother, a left by Buddy McGirt.
First good offensive action of the round by McGirt. Landing solid point, building combination.
Simon Brown never stops. He continues to come. He always comes. And that's another mental edge on him. Because Buddy McGirt must say, what's holding this guy up? I'm hitting him with clean shots, flush in the jaw. And he's not even budging.
But Brown's defense, as we said at the outset, a flaw. He opens himself up, and McGirt's taking advantage. But can Brown come back and score a knockout punch like he did against Blocker?
Simon Brown back on the attack, back turning this round in his favor.
Got to bring that combination together. As he throw that right hand, left hook.
He's right on his feet. He doesn't look that hurt.
We got 22 seconds left.
Brown down for only the second time.
Buddy McGirt will try to finish him right now.
Can McGirt finish him off in the final 10 seconds of the 10th?
Let's take a look at this knockdown because it seemed to be a flash. That was right. There was a good left hook.
I believe it was a left hook that did it.
There's another left hook, and down he goes. It's two hooks that got him down. The right didn't land real flush, but the hooks did. That's the first one right there from this viewpoint. And here comes the next one, right there. And the legs went out from under Simon, and was that a surprise knockdown, Mike?
Oh, man, the punch had to land because Simon was getting hit to the second and he was doubling up on the left hook, tripling up on it. And one of them had to land. And both fighters being as tired as they are and exhausted, anything can happen at this particular time.
And now the title is really up for grabs.
Simon Brown must come out here to give everything he had.
Round 11, Brown the champion, McGirt the #1 contender. McGirt decking Brown late in the 10th. Time, says Mills Lamb. Something with the mouthpiece.
Simon Brown started the round without a mouthpiece.
Oh, man.
Here we go, come on.
Emil Griffin got a little excited.
They lost their composure in the corner. They forgot to put in the mouthpiece.
Emil Griffin was a great champion, but he's starting to work as a cornerman. And let's go back to this fight.
Oh, man.
Simon Brown must continue to keep his defense up, keep his hands up, and come in moving his head and punching as he makes Buddy McGirt miss. He mustn't lose any composure at this particular moment, because this is the time he must be more composed and act like the champion as ever.
With that big 10-8 round, all Buddy's got to do is get on his bicycle and survive, and he is the next champion, at least unofficially on my card.
And McGirt, knowing deep down inside he's got to be cautious too, careful. He knows about Brown's potent left hook. But McGirt showing no respect.
Simon Brown's not used to fighting such a short, fleet-footed fighters, but he's very fast, and as he punches, he gets in close, and doesn't give Simon Brown the chance to get off. But Simon Brown must punch, soon as he's inside, he must throw the combination, even though he's tired, he has to punch, but this is the championship of the world at stake.
McGirt continues to be in command.
Well, he got a big lift off that knockdown, and now he knows he can be the champion of the world, and Simon Brown doesn't know how to catch up with McGirt and save his title.
Buddy McGirt just dropped the most feared welterweight in the world at this particular moment and giving a good account of himself. Simon Brown must keep his hands up.
That knockdown must have taken a lot out of Simon Brown because he's not attacking with big force.
He must keep his hands up. But this guy would counterpunch him to death.
Again, McGirt asserting himself. Less than a minute to go in the 11th. Lunging left uppercut by McGirt.
Buddy McGirt is pot shot the best welterweight champion in the world today.
Well, he might have been the best yesterday because today it's going to be Buddy McGirt if he keeps this up.
The other champs are Meldrick Taylor and Maurice Blocker, who are taking note of Buddy McGirt tonight. McGirt hasn't been a champion since 1988 when he lost the IBF junior welterweight crown to Meldrick Taylor.
And McGirt fighting brilliantly. If he doesn't make a mistake, he is in good shape in this fight.
And Simon Brown in his 10th championship fight, 9-0 in those fights.
Simon Brown has to make Buddy McGirt exert energy because he's coming up to the last round. He has to exert energy. Because the last round he's taking it easy this moment. He's got to go full steam in the 12th round.
And round 11 in the books. 3 minutes to go.
Come on, man. Come on, stop it down.
Tell a no more race over here. Hey, no more race.
Champ.
No more race over here.
Simon, fuck the eye. You can do it. You do it against me, baby. One eye, no eyes. Motherfucker, do it.
Don't give up, baby. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Do it, don't fight.
Look at me. Look at the doctor, sir. Look at the doctor. Doctor's all right. Look at the doctor. He's all right, doctor. He's okay. Belly weight, belly. Okay, baby.
Hey, you can rest all day tomorrow, champion.
Come on, we're good. This is it, baby. Champion of the world. Let's go, baby. Get out.
3 minutes. 12th and final round for the WBC Welterweight Championship. Can Buddy McGirt hang on here and pull it off? He knocked Simon Brown down in the 10th round. Seemingly all he has to do is stay away.
And he is such a good boxer. He has such motion that he can do it.
If Buddy McGirt only looks to survive the round, he's making a big mistake. He should go in there and try to finish the fight off if he can.
He's throwing some hard leather. Mike, that was a hard right hand.
Can Simon Brown pull it off? Can he come back and knock McGirt out?
Simon Brown has to rally. He has to give everything he got right now. And I know he's the type of champion that is made to do this. This is an exciting moment, and I'm just tongue-tied from just watching these two great fighters fight.
The crowd chanting for McGirt. Brown it looks like has to knock McGirt out to win it, but look at McGirt.
All right, let's step back. Let him go, buddy.
McGirt is using his head. What won him the first 4 rounds is won him the last 2. Superior boxing, lateral motion, and all of a sudden, a fresh wellspring of energy that comes from the impending championship belt.
Oh my, left hook missed and might have done damage. Simon Brown must continue to punch. He's walking into punches, which is unlike Simon Brown.
Well, he's got to be desperate now, less than a minute and a half. Brown has to throw caution to the wind. But back comes McGirt with combination.
Too fast, too much boxing skill for Simon, who is a slower fighter and a more determined fighter, but he can't find him.
And Brown looking oh so frustrated.
Miracles do happen in boxing, but not usually on a night like this.
He'll have to do it in the last 55. That wasn't it. That right eye closing, Simon Brown.
McGirt solidly ahead on my scorecard, and I doubted the judges would see it differently with that knockdown, but we never know.
Simon Brown must, this is only 30 seconds left. He must do something. He has to change the tide somehow. It's never too late, but he has to do something. It doesn't look good in his half.
We've had so many upsets here on Showtime. McGirt, the challenger, coming in the underdog. We'll see.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have 10 seconds left. Let's look at good boxing.
Outstanding action from the start of this fight. I counted only 2 clinches in the whole fight. Tremendous heart being exhibited by this man. Look at them, crowd around Buddy McGirt, his family, his friends.
Buddy McGirt fought his heart out.
Really did.
And New York has another champion, but as we don't know. But from now, from looking at the scorecards, it looks like New York has another champion.
It is going to the judges. Jerry Roth, Dalby Shirley, and Ray Solis. Buddy and his family and friends praying. We saw him praying prior to the fight. There was one knockdown, Mike, as you saw in the 10th round. Solid left by Buddy McGirt. Check it out.
And as you said, punches like this gives you inspiration. Look at the comments, a sneaky left hook, and as you notice, he was tripling the punches up. And one of them had to land. 1, and he moves. 2, and the third punch, here it goes, boom. And he dropped the great welterweight champion.
Sprawled out on the canvas, Simon Brown has lost only 1 fight, in danger of losing the championship to the man in blue, Buddy McGirt.
And as you know, Steve, this would be the first title fight, if he's to lose, that Brown was to lose.
9-0 in championship fights coming in. A long night for Simon Brown, in there with a tough customer in James Buddy McGirt. We're getting ready for the decision. We're standing by. Let's go up to our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 championship rounds of boxing, we have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Dalby Shirley scores at 119-108. Ray Solis scores at 117-110, as does Jerry Roth, 117-110. All three in favor of the winner and the new WBC welterweight champion of the world, James Buddy McGirt.
There you have it, a new champion.
A new champion from Brentwood, New York, James Buddy McGirt. And that's just another long list of champions from New York.
And we're sitting with a former world heavyweight champion from New York, Mike Tyson, who enjoyed the action here tonight with many fans here at the Mirage. What a great effort by James Buddy McGirt.
There's no doubt, a professional, classy, straight-up boxing style. People should take notes, because this is one of the greatest boxing exhibitions we've seen in years.
Only Brown's second career loss, his first in 10 championship fights, but Buddy McGirt taking the title away from Simon Brown. Take a look at this, finally getting that elusive title back after losing a belt in '88, taking him 3 years to climb back to the championship level. We'll be getting some final comments from Mike Tyson here at ringside, but standing by in the ring is the fight doctor, Freddie Pacheco.
Simon.
Yes.
Did you feel that slipping away in the middle when you looked like you were in command, and all of a sudden it slipped away from you?
Well, I tell you, after coming down from 175 pounds as well, and I haven't fought, no excuse, but he's definitely good, move a lot. I could have handled myself better, but I think I need to be a little bit more active. In the ring, I've been off for a long time. Again, that's no excuse. Coming down from 175 pounds to make welterweight, man, and heat in a week.
And so you're not fighting anymore at welterweight?
No, I'm going to wave it goodbye and move up to weight because this weight is just killing me. Well, coming into the fight, I feel I have nothing. I mean, I haven't drinking nothing actually in a week.
Did his speed surprise you?
No, I know Buddy was fast and swift, you know, and I think I could have catch up more, but just the weight just couldn't, that I dropped off from 175, maybe 78 pounds, I just couldn't catch up, you know, because the leg wouldn't allow me, and I could feel my hands then was too light.
Well, you've had a nice long run as a welterweight, and now it's upward into the junior middleweights and middleweights.
I definitely did. I have a very good time by the IBF when I was a IBF champ, the WBC also. I tell you, you know, the weight was just a factor. Again, no excuse.
Well,
I've been fighting this weight since 1979, and I just stayed it too long. And I know it was eventually would catch up with me, but I just figured I was out-headed.
All right, thank you very much. And now from a disappointed Simon Brown to a jubilant Buddy McGirt, who is standing by with his new belt on, his gloves still on, and let's turn around a moment, Buddy. Buddy, you look like you faded in the middle. You spit out your mouthpiece, and then you took off.
Freddie, I got to say first, I give all my praise to God upstairs, to my fans from Long Island, my mom and my managers and everybody, and my kids. And I'd like to say to my brother Tyrone, who couldn't be here, we did it, Tyrone. I love you, baby. I'll be home to see you soon, baby.
All right, the question is, did you kick into some extra gear after it looks like you were blowing in the middle, and then you kicked out your mouthpiece, and all of a sudden you took off?
Fred, this was the fight of my life. You know, God forbid if I would have lost this one, it would have been another long, hard road, another hard climb back. They said I couldn't do it. They said I wasn't strong as a welterweight. They said I was finished, but I proved them all wrong. Thanks to Don King and Madison Square Garden, and especially to Simon Brown. They gave me an opportunity to show that I'm not finished. So I'm back now, Freddie. And right now, I don't want to talk about nobody. I just want to rest right now.
Was there any doubt in your mind after you knocked him out that you were the welterweight champion? Knocked him down, not knocked him out.
It's not over till it's over, Freddie. You know, and I just got to keep pushing. You know, I was far away from home. He was the champion. And I know to win the title, you got to go in and you got to fight like a champion to take it. So
let's take a look at the knockdown and see if you can reminisce with us. Tell us what was hurting him.
Well, every time I was catching with the jabs in the right hand, they would catch him. So I threw it right, and then I remember my manager Al always told me to come back with the hook.
And then another one.
And I let it rip. That's the same arm that
here's the second.
I had ruptured the tendon in, you know, and they said that I was finished. But thanks to Dr. Marzak and Mike Rosenhaus and everybody at South Shore Sports Medicine, they got my arm back in shape, and I'm back and I'm world champion again.
So you will be the welterweight champion and defend the welterweight championship, but when, Don?
We're going to get him as soon as possible. We're going to talk to Al Soto, his manager. Nobody would make the fight. I made the fight for him. The guy's got the fight now. He's the champion. He can get a chance to prove himself. So we want to say hello to Al Braver, who had a great part in helping Al Soto to come to grips with this. But it's a great thing for Showtime, and again, shows that Showtime boxing is #1.
Well, Al Soto, the manager of congratulations to you, congratulations to the fighter and the champion, and back to Steve Albert at ringside.
All right, thanks very much, Ferdy. What a night here. We're with Mike Tyson ringside, and McGirt is back on top. He's now a two-time champion.
Hey, man, no, this is the most exciting moment of his life. And as you said before, I know he don't even want to talk about fighting anybody. He want to go home, go to his kids, and this is an exciting moment for him. Hopefully, if Brown's not in a hurry to rush up, they could fight a rematch, and that's something I think the crowd will be more anticipated to have. Because this is a fight that was very underestimated. Not the great crowd came out that wasn't expected to, but if a rematch came, I think they would sell the place out.
A real street fight, a slugfest, and Buddy McGirt is the winner. Your impressions of the NABF Super Middleweight Championship, Randall Yonker against Michael Nunn. Nunn winning with a knockout at 147 of the 10th round. He was ahead on all cards.
Nunn was better than ever. You know what I mean? This is the new Michael Nunn, and Randall put a good account of himself as well. Neither fighter lost anything. Randall should be back again, and as we know, we're going to hear a lot from Mr. Michael Nunn.
All right, a fight of great interest to you, the recent Holyfield-Cooper fight. What do you think of the stoppage there, Mike?
Well, can I tell you something? It's very It's funny that when Holyfield got hit and he went against the rope, that he got a standing 8 count, and Bert Cooper didn't get the same opportunity to get a standing 8 count. But then again, I'm just going from rules of refereeing. I'm not saying that I'm in any class of refereeing as the great Mills Lane is, but it just didn't look right from my view. It didn't look right. I don't know. I could be wrong. I've been wrong on many occasions here.
We looked it up. Well, you're human, but we looked it up. The rules, WBA, WBF, and IBF rule is if a fighter hits the ropes and the ropes keep him from hitting the canvas, the referee can determine that it was a knockdown, so it's a mandatory 8 count. Not a standing 8 count, but a mandatory 8 count. So I thought it was a good call by Mills Lane.
Well, then I'm wrong again. And I'm sorry, Mr. Lane. Continue to do good work.
Well, after what you saw, does it make you all the more eager, all the more antsy to get into the ring with Evander?
Well, I'm always looking forward to fight with Holyfield. You know what I mean? In due time, hopefully we'll get the match off. And after the fight, Holyfield will be dismantled, and I'll be the next heavyweight champion of the world.
But don't you think Holyfield would have been more up that particular night, more psyched to fight you?
Absolutely. I believe perhaps he had a bad night, and I give him the benefit of that he had a bad night. But I believe at his best he doesn't stand a chance with me.
Okay, and it's your plan to fight Holyfield as soon as possible?
Absolutely.
Okay, Mike, thank you so much for joining us.
It's always good work.
Always a pleasure. Okay, well, 1991 was certainly an exciting year in and out of the ring. Mike Tyson was certainly a big part of that. Will we see Tyson versus Holyfield in 92? That remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure, 91 was marked by rematches and retirement, and a lot of it was seen right here on Showtime.